Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 7, Chapter 10. The Key the Sages Own. Like an elephant which was once the leader of the herd, which is caught and tamed for hauling timber, in the self-same forest where once it was the monarch, forgetful of its own prowess and grandeur, Bharat has forgotten its supremacy and wealth of spiritual achievement. It is hauling material lumber and feeling supremely satisfied when it gets sustenance and bondage. Man should be like the tiger, which refuses to eat grass even in the last extremity of starvation. There are certain things that man must refuse to do, even at the worst provocation or the most enticing temptation. Then only can he deserve to be termed human. In this land where tyaga, sacrifice, and seva, service to others, were proclaimed as the twin paths to fulfillment, the fell disease of greed and selfishness have spread in recent years. This is tragedy for the entire human community. I am emphasizing this today because I find that this vast gathering is mostly composed of students from schools and colleges. These diseases are affecting the youth of this land. The youth are the very foundation of the nation. They are the roots that uphold and feed the ideals of the nation. They must, therefore, grow in an atmosphere of reverence and humility, not in the hothouse of passion and faction. The elders must provide the atmosphere in the homes, in the villages, in clubs, in civic bodies, in legislature, in all walks of public life. Youths try to behave like their elders, so the elders must be good examples to them. Those who draft the syllabuses, the curricula for the schools and colleges must be imbued with reverence for our national culture, which is really pure international culture. Then only can our students become true sons and daughters of India. This is the responsibility of the legislators and the rulers, of whom there are some on this very platform. That is why I am telling them this. Our sages had the welfare of humanity at heart. Now the students have started querying, quite against the culture of India, the very existence of God, the very need for morality and the very value of sacrifice and service. This is combined effect of the home, the school, the society, and the leadership. If this is overcome, the youth of this land can well raise up this land to grand heights in the coming years. A virtuous character is the lamp which illumines the path to peace and joy. This is the teaching of sages who had the welfare of humanity at heart, and who bore the rigors of asceticism to discover the key. The teachings of these ancient seekers attracted the respect of men like Dara Shukro, the brother of Aurangzeb, as well as women like his sister Zebunisa. Dara had the Upanishads translated into Persian. He adored them as the highest wisdom. Zebunisa was also an ardent student of the same culture. One day, when her maid was holding the mirror to her while combing her hair after her bath, it slipped and broke. She was morally afraid to be near her mistress and stood shivering in dread of her anger. But the princess consoled her, saying, "Why worry over the damage to the mirror? Even the body to which all these articles cater is liable to damage and destruction. Like a bird that sees a lump of flesh in the far distance, but does not notice the net spread over it to catch it. Man too sees but the charms of material objects, He does not notice the entanglements which they cause. Man tries to map the craters and canyons and the volcanoes on the moon, but ignores the craters within his own heart. How then can he acquire peace? Man undergoes enormous trouble to guard his wealth, but does not spread an iota of energy to guard his chittam, inner consciousness. Atma is the source and repository of everything. You say seeing is believing. I believe in God only if I can see Him. But are all the things seen or heard or touched or tasted as real as they seem? Is it the eye that sees? Your eye may be open and turned in that direction, but if your mind is wandering elsewhere, you will not notice anything at all. You see things only through the illumination of the Atma. You love only because the Atma is love. You know because the Atma is knowledge. You have Shanti, for the Atma is the source and repository of Shanti. The subtle effect of the mantras, mystic formula, mentioned in the Vedas cannot be seen or heard by the senses. They have to be experienced in and through the inner consciousness, the antakarana. The sound of these mantras has the power of transforming the impulses and tendencies. The word mantra means that which saves when turned over in the mind. Revolve the mantra ever in the mind. That will keep off wild talk, purposeless conversation, aimless gossip and scandal. Talk only when the talk is most essential, and talk only as little as is necessary. Talk sweetly and without any reservation or circumvention. I want students to be convinced of the excellence of these teachings of the Vedas and Shastras. I am glad efforts are being made by the Sathya Sai Seva Samiti to spread this knowledge among them. Things cannot be bettered by the grown-ups. Their attitudes have been shaped already. The youth have to develop fine qualities of head and heart. They must join and partake in spiritual groups and be useful to themselves and others. Revere your parents and be useful to them and others. Revere your parents and try to make them happy. That is one item of worship which you can wholeheartedly take up from this very day. When your parents are rendered miserable by your actions, how can God be pleased with you and listen to your prayers? Maharashtra is the land of many saints who have spread bhakti through their teachings. It is the heart of Bharat on account of this. Try to deserve being the children of Maharashtra by following their valuable teachings. Sardar Patel Stadium, Bombay, March 21st, 1967.